Welcome back, everyone. And I do mean everyone. It's Forgotten Circus. Well, there you have it. You know what this video is about. Season finale, season 2, House of the Dragon, episode 8, and it delivered. Except for I do have a little gripe, and I think with most of us House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones fans, uh yeah, we want to see the war, the dance. It's getting there, but yo, and so here's one thing I do have to say: if you think they ain't changing stuff up, see, I was telling people in the beginning, I was telling people in the beginning, and people were like, no, they only said it's going to be like 4 seasons. Yo, they gonna stretch this out to 5. They gonna stretch it out. I know because if you think about it, before I even get into all the spoilers, so this is going to be a spoiler thing. So let me tell you, um, yeah, they're definitely stretching this out. And we don't know if Night of the Seven Kings is going. This is already proven. This is already proven to be a hit. They gonna ride. They gonna ride this till the wheel falls off. So let's get it. Yeah, they're definitely stretching out, and I'll get into that at the end. But so can we get? Oh my gosh, Tyland is hilarious. Actually, in this episode, he's hilarious. He actually has more character. He's not like his obnoxious brother. He's just like, oh, I'm doing it for the Lannisters. Okay. So he meeting with the Triarchy. This whole time with him and the Triarchy is hilarious because he's looking at them like these people are straight up barbarians. There's no air in here. There's no breatheway. It's hot. I did like that. So, and he's so bougie too. He's like, why am I sitting on the floor with these people? It was hilarious, man. And then he even called them pirates. He was like, well, pirates. And they're like, whoa, whoa, chill out. So, and then, they bring up, and I did like this female. I forget, I don't know her name. They're changing everything up, people. Like, they're really changing it, and it's working in some places. In some places, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, yeah. So he's just doing all that, and then he finds out that the person he has to basically talk to is a female, and he's like, "Oh, what am I doing here?" Tylen's hilarious, and they keep messing up his name, which is so funny. They keep calling him Tywin, and it's a call back to Game of Thrones, and everything's going to point to that, you know. And then they kind of make, is it me or is it like, like I feel for Aegon, he never wanted it. Granted, dude's crazy, he's a lunatic, but now you're looking at it from the other side. He knows he's broken. He knows he's not going to be the same person he was. So I don't. They're doing this whole weird thing with him being. You got to feel for him. Well, it's interesting. Remember, there's not a lot of. It's written by 3 different people. This whole thing, the Dance of Dragons. So it's from different perspectives. So in order for HBO to create that, like it was in a book, they have to kind of eliminate the 3-person perspective thing, which I do get. It's just one straight story. So, and then Aemon out there doing his thing, just burning everything. He don't care. He just burning it all. Like, yeah, I don't know. Aemon's he's gone, man. He's so far gone. And then Laris comes up to Aegon. He's like, yo, straight up, we got a dip, bro. We got a dip. And I did, and from the site, and Lars, I'm not even gonna call him a strong because he's a kinslayer. He killed his family. Everybody knows that. Come on, the Firefly thing, fire, yeah. But he does have a good point. He's like, yo, this dude is off his rocker right now, and you might want to dip. So, and then, so I guess Aegon's dragon. What is it? Sunfire's could put. See, that's another change. If that's true, or they're holding. You never know. That may be something that comes on later. But if that's true, that changes a lot. It changes a lot. Like the whole Nettles thing. But we don't know yet because we don't know yet. But I'm gonna get in there. Get and then And then like he's going over these names, and Aegon says the realm's delight, which is like so now you're back to like, oh, this guy just mocking us. Oh, okay, yeah. And then Rhaena, we get a lot of running montages with Rhaena. I appreciate the screen time. I want to see some more lines for her because she seems to be an incredible actress, and her presence on the screen, even when she was running, it was good. So I had no problem with that. We all know where this is going. Yes, she's probably that is definitely sheep stiller because it was eating sheep right there. So yeah, it's looking more and more like Nettles ain't going to be in this, but it's okay if they can do it. Rhaena, I mean, they're changing a lot of stuff, obviously. So you can tell they are filling everything in and going in their own direction with the guidance of George R. R. Martin. I think they're just creating this new story. Like we want to make it like more interesting than the book. And it's working in some parts. I'm not gonna lie. And then some parts I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then Off cracks me up, but Off is like he's kind of annoying at the same time. Like he's just sitting there, and then Jason's like, "What the hell are you doing? Get your feet off. Get your feet off the table." He's like, "Who are you?" And then Hugh was like, Hugh was a kind of like a gentleman. He knows the drill. He knows how this stuff works. He's been around royalty a lot. I mean, he's one of the biggest blacksmiths and scorpion maker in all the Seven Kingdoms. So he has to talk to these people. And Jason's like calling him out, like, what are you doing? And he punks him too, like, oh, you got a dragon, huh? I'm still there. Don't you forget that. So, and then you got the scene where Corlys tries to and I understand what he's trying to do, but he's just doing it the wrong way. He gives him like the strict dad speech. And then, straight up, I love this scene. I love like great acting by the character. That's the same guy from Raised by Wolves, father or whatever. Great acting by him in this scene. He calls him out like, "Oh, you trying to make me? I didn't even ask for this. You trying to make me do this? What is it, Alan?" And Alan just lays into his dad, bro. He's like straight up like, "Excuse me, I never wanted to be appointed to the. And where were you as a father when I saw you marching with your supposedly true-born son, your noble son, marching through, and I was sitting there eating scraps." And you could tell it really hurt. Corlys going through it. He done lost Rainey's, and now his two. I don't even want to call them bastards because they become so much more. You know what I mean? And it's like you can tell he's broken, and he's like, I gotta hold it together. I gotta do this for the queen. But it's like, damn, I messed up. That was a really good moment. It really was. And then Helena being Helena, the most beautiful person in the world. That actress, how she's playing it, and I love how they're bringing more life to Helena because she is so special and she's so sweet. In every scene that she's in, she steals the show. Phenomenal performance from that actress. But yeah, so Aegon trying to, or Aemon sitting there like, you need to fly a Dreamfire. And then this is the first time. Oh no. Wait, I'll get into that because Corlys is talking about stuff, and he's actually saying to Rhaenyra that they have Dreamfire, and she was hatched at the time of the conquest. Yeah, but Helena wouldn't do that. She ain't about that life. He's like, you never know. But and he's talking to Rhaenyra about that, but like, yo, I'm ready. I'm ready to go out. And then he named his boat. It's no longer the Sea Snake. It's the Queen Who Never Was, which is their love, man. Their love in the show. Like in the books, it was good, but this in the show, it was so much better, you know. And then he says it straight up. He's like, "Yo, Corlys is always ride or die with Damon." That's what I love about him and Damon's relationship. He's like, "We got somebody absent. We need to go find him." And she's like, "Hmm." But I did like I forget his name, the little snitch guy that's trying to play all the sides, that's always talking trash to Rhaenyra. I'll leave it in the comments. I forget his name because it's so friggin' annoying. Yeah, he's sitting there like coming up with like, oh yeah, Rhaenyra. He's like, yeah, do you see this army? I got this. Yeah. And Damon's still trying to be kind of cocky too, like, yo, if I wanted to, you know. But when he tried to do that whole backdoor stuff and saying that, yeah, Rhaenyra is cool, but we need a king, and he's like, and I did like how I'm calling him Lord Strong because he's not a kinslayer, and he's holding Harrenhal down. Sends a little letter out because he overheard it and was like, nah, not on my watch. That ain't happening on my watch. Mm-mm. But I like how old boy when he walked up to where the werewood tree was with Damon. It seems like Damon's so used to it now. And then he was like, "Did you hear that?" And Damon was like, "Oh yeah, this place, yeah, it's full of ghosts and witchcraft. Or it's crazy here, right?" I've been here for freaking months, weeks. You know, it's cool. Happens every day. But that was good. And then we have Helena just being again. There was so much screen time with her, and I loved it too. She's just so beautiful and innocent. And then Amon comes up and says, "Yo, you gonna fly Dreamfire?" And it's the first time you really saw Alicent be a mom. She's like, no. And you know what? Amon actually told her the drill and was like, no, it's not. I mean, no, it's not this way. It's the first time you've seen her be like a parent, which I did like. And then so there is a part when Gwen, which I did notice in this episode. I'm reading off my notes, so there's a long pause. I do apologize. It's probably going to be a 25-minute video anyway. Y'all know. I mean, everybody's video is probably going to be that long. But it's the first time that with like Gwen Hightower, man, he knew the whole time, but now he's just like, yo, I'm done with it. I'm gonna confront Chris and Cole like he gonna be tough. Like, yo, Chris and Cole beat the brakes. Gwen, you pretty good, but Gwen, Howard. Christian Cole's he'll beat the brakes off you. That's why I just sitting there all casually. And he's like, yo, like, I know you've done all these things and now you want to try and like sit over here and mope. Yo, this is the first time when you seen Sir Kristen Cole, like, yo, I don't even care anymore, bro. I seriously don't care anymore. Like we're all tied into it now. And I like his speech about it, and he was dropping bar after bar after bar. Like, yo, the dragons danced, and men were ashes beneath their feet. It's like you don't understand how this. We're done. This will change the realm forever. And I really felt him on that. And then that scene when Gwen sat down with him was great. And he was like, yo, he's so right, dude. So and then Tyland and Triarchy again, they have him fight this woman, this pirate woman, which is basically I guess, the head commander of all the Triarchy fleet. And I'll give it to. They keep calling him Tywin, which is so funny, and I'll give it to him. He held his own, man. He held his own. It was not. We'll see with his. I don't know. It was just. It was finally some comic relief that made sense in this. Because he's kind of been creeping to be the comic relief, and he just topped it. That is my dude. Even though I can't stand the Lannisters in this part of the story, but that dude is my dude, man. He's hilarious. And then so obviously she does the thing, he wins, and because she said, I'm not gonna sail for somebody that can't best me, especially a man. And then he did. So then he was like, oh man, they keep messing up his name, and they're all having dinner. This whole part with Tylen was friggin' hilarious. And he sits down. He's like, yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go to bed. And she's like, well, no, see, I want you to be basically. She offered up all her wives because she wants them all to get pregnant. Which is, Ty was like, wait, how many? It was good. That was funny. That was funny. So obviously they said the gullet in this. So next season is probably going to be the Battle of Gullet. I mean, they mentioned it several times. You see where everybody's going with all the fleets. So, and that whole thing of that dragon seed meeting was so uncomfortable. You can see Jace like, what is going on? I don't even feel like I'm there. And then off doing his thing, being off. And she was like, yeah, we're gonna take this and we're gonna take that. And you need to be ready to ride your dragon in 2 days. We're gonna give you the commands to say the dragon. And they're all like, what the hell? Yo, but Adam looked like he ready. That dude laser focused. And I do like how she has taken more of a liking to Adam than anybody else, even over Jace, which probably making Jace a little like, I don't know. I don't think she should be doing it. I think Jace needs to be more involved. And it seems like him and Belle are looking at each other like, what is going on? So you had that part. And then she goes straight up like, she gets the letter from Lord Strong about, yeah, he's amassed an army, and I fear that something might happen if you don't get here. So she dips off with straight up with Adam. She's like, that's my roll dog. I think it's more of the two dragons, like Sea Smoke and Cyrax. They've flown together before. I think that's one of those things that Jace is kind of looking at it wrong, but like, well, these dragons know how to fly together. And then, yeah. So, I mean, or that. And then we had the return of Alice Rivers. I'm so done with Aaron Hall and Alice Rivers. Great character, seen it too much, and you're always talking riddles. But this time, I love this scene. It makes sense. So that whole thing, Daemon knows. Now, Rhaenyra and Jace all know about what's said. They've seen what's on the blade, possibly Aemon. But they took scenes out of Game of Thrones and put them in there. So they are changing up so much stuff in this because he saw the whole thing. And that's another reason why I think they're going to push it to 5 seasons. And that whole thing that the Jon Snow thing was a joke, I think they're playing this out to fix a lot of stuff. That's why stuff is being rewritten for a certain purpose. And I really do think that they are going to go back to that and fix that. And I don't think they're going to call it the Jon Snow series at all, whatever they want to call it, Snow. I think that that's going to come up in the future because by then time, a lot of time has passed. People have forgotten about that and then be like, oh, we'll go back. Oh, yeah. And then you launch like that. So I don't know. Obviously, we didn't know. Look, the first thing that was supposed to happen was Blood Moon. Before House of the Dragon, we all see how that worked out. Yeah. But, all right, what else we got here? And then Alice Rivers, like, straight up drop bars like that. And then, so Daemon just totally changed in that point. And then, so that whole time when Alice Rivers, there was a weird moment. So I don't know if I'm just going to call Helena she's the shit. All right. I wish they're probably going to make her and I wish her ending is way better than the other ending because right now you're building her up to be something important. This girl is, I don't know. She's a dragon dreamer and a green seer all in one. It's insane. She jumps into the dream from Alice Rivers and is talking to him too, which was amazing transition. And it makes they're changing so much, and that is dope. I loved it. It was perfect. And then Aemon comes up again, like, hey, you gonna drive, are you gonna fly a Dreamfire or what? What are we gonna do? And she's like, no, I know you burned him. Oh well. Nothing's going to change. I know more than anything. You will die above the God's eye. So she's getting better with her visions because she said a lot of stuff. And like Damon saw the White Walkers, so she saw all the thoughts. Everything is going. She's a Dragon Dreamer, Green Seer. That's it. Green Seer, Dragon Dreamer. She got to be. She's got to be the best. She's an anomaly. She's like Neo. But and then like Rhaenyra just rolls up at old Harrenhal, and then Carax is like, "Yo, can you? Oh, what's up, girls? What's up? Can y'all get me out of this? No, what's up? No, we're not leaving yet. Damn it!" And then Damon with that, and they didn't even respect Rhaenyra at first. And then Damon just rolled up with all the power, and then he submitted. And I did like them talking in High Valyrian, and how it's like you got to see Damon. He loves his family. He's doing it for his family. He just likes being cocky about it, but he really does love his family. So, and then Rhaenyra's running around trying to get a dragon, or Rhaenyra's trying to get a dragon. We all know where it's going. And then Alicent just rolled up, and this is why in that one scene in the first one um in the episode, what was it, 4? See, this whole thing, so Alicent just rolls up at Dragonstone because she talked to Helena, and Helena was like, "Where would I go?" Oh, she's so sweet. And she just rolls up, and she's just like Dragonstone, like being all crazy. And Rhaenyra was like, "What the hell are you doing? Are you crazy?" And she's doing the whole thing. I give up. Like all can be forgiven. And Rhaenyra was like, "No, that's not. I want it. I would love that, but that's not how this works." And this scene actually was pretty good because you saw. See, there goes the S's. You saw two best friends that remember their friendship, but also have to relive their hatred for each other all in that moment because you messed up, and there's no getting out of it. It's too late. So she literally says, "Well, you know what? Put your money where your mouth is. You started this chess game. You have to finish it, whether you win or lose, or whether I win or lose." And that was pretty good. And she spared her. She said, "Go." And she was like, "History will paint you as the villain," because Alicent spilled the beans, bro. She told him exactly where they're going, how many days, everything. There's a lot of change from the book, people. That's why I think this is going 5 seasons. And if we get to 5, I may say it may go 6. I don't know what they doing, but they stretching this one out. And then we get the old suit up montage of everything. You're like, "Yeah, buddy, we about to get a battle." You know what I mean? All the dragons he's putting on. And yo, by the way, all the armors don't all fits him. He doesn't wear anything heavy. He doesn't want to wear anything heavy, but he gets the fine silk rubberies. And then, Hugh's armor's pretty dope. And then you get to see Adam's armor. Yo, Adam's armor is fire, bro. Yep. And then Daemon showing up. He ready to go. So we doing all the armies. See the Lannister armies going, and Daemon's ready. You got basically the Avengers assemble moment. The Valerian fleets out there. The Triarchy is sailing out, and then you got a lot of people leaving King's Landing because they know the war is happening, and then we end off. See, that's the one problem I've had. So obviously we know we're going to see Battle of the Gullet. They promised us 2 big battles, apparently, in this season. So you can never believe what they say because they're smart with it. They're stretching this out, people. It's going to 5 seasons. That battle, they may leave the battle. Oh, I'm not going to spoil it. Something with the God's Eye. Anyway, they mentioned it. But I think they're really stretching this out. But overall, it's a great episode. I just feel like if they would have ended off in some type of battle, but now you're stretching out so much more. Now you're gonna have to start rewriting. They're already doing it anyway. But I love this season. And then you got to finally see Otto too. There was a lot of cameo. So Otto's like caged up somewhere, you know, not in the finest attire. Probably hasn't bathed in days. So there's a lot of moving pieces. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's going to change, and I feel like it's going to go a lot longer. But overall, I did like this season a lot. I think this is the standard of how to make TV shows, and people should abide by it. Granted, it might have been a weaker season because I think it's a little bit weak because Viserys, Patty Constantine as Viserys was so good, and you could tell he was missed. It was almost like when Ned Stark. It was one of those things, but we got through it on the later season until the dreadful downfall. But I really think they're repairing a lot of stuff, and that is something new that Damon got the vision of everything that happens all the way to the end. So, and we don't know how much he really did see because remember they cut and then he was still trying to pull his hand off. So he might have seen further and they just leave that there for, you know what I mean? A little cliffhanger. But I guess we're going to have a lot of battles coming up. They got to. Battle of the Honeywine, Redford. There's a bunch of them. The Gullet, God's Eye. So there's a lot of stuff coming up. And I really think that it's going to be good. So I don't know. That's my little spoiler review of everything. So tell me what you think. That was the last episode of season 2. So we're going to have to wait a while. Good thing we got Night of the Seven Kingdoms and a lot of stuff's being greenlit. But I really think that they're going to roll a lot of this in because they want to do Aegon's Conquest and the Blackfire Rebellion. Watch. Mark my words. They're going to roll everything where every year probably you'll get a Game of Thrones show. So, I don't know. But tell me what you think. That's my spoiler review. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I want everyone to subscribe. And I do mean everyone.